What if I told you that during the holiest month of the year, during Ramadan, when the gates of paradise are open, when mercy is descending, when the Qur'an was revealed, some people feel darker than ever? Why do arguments suddenly explode in homes that were peaceful? Why does temptation feel stronger at night? Why do some people cry alone after breaking their fast, feeling guilt, anger, or even depression? And here is the question that should disturb you. If the devil are chained during Ramadan, as taught by Prophet Muhammad, then why are so many Muslims still struggling? Are jinn attacking? Or is something deeper happening inside us? Why does your anger still flare up while fasting? Why does your addiction whisper louder when the world is supposed to be quieter? Why does your heart feel heavy when this is supposed to be the month of light? Some people say, it's shaitan. Others say, it's just stress. But what if the truth is more uncomfortable than both? What if Ramadan is not exposing demons around you, but revealing battles within you? Watch until the end, because what you're about to hear may completely change how you experience Ramadan forever. And if you are Muslim and serious about protecting your soul, do not skip this video. Before we go any further, I want you to do something intentional. Comment right now, I choose vigilance. Not casually, consciously. Because what we are about to uncover is not about fear. It is about awareness. And awareness is the beginning of protection. Before starting this video, don't forget to like this video, because it gives us a lot of strength to continue sharing beneficial content. And I invite you to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to stay informed of our next publications on the Islamic faith. Share it with your loved ones and leave a comment to tell me what you think. Thank you and good video. Who are the jinn? Before we talk about attacks, before we talk about Ramadan, we need clarity. Because fear without knowledge creates superstition, and knowledge destroys illusion. The jinn are not myths. They are mentioned repeatedly in the Qur'an. They are described as being created from smokeless fire, different from humans who were created from clay. They live in a world we cannot see, but that does not mean they do not exist. And here is something many people forget. Jinn have free will. They think, they choose, they believe, or they disbelieve. In fact, there is an entire chapter in the Qur'an called Surah al-Jinn, where a group of jinn hear the recitation of the Qur'an and accept faith. So understand this clearly. Not all jinn are evil. Some are righteous, some are corrupt, just like humans. But among them was one who changed the story of humanity forever. Iblis. When Allah commanded the angels to bow to Adam, Iblis refused. Not because he lacked knowledge, not because he lacked proximity to worship, but because of arrogance. I am better than him. That sentence still echoes through human history. And then he made a vow, a dangerous vow. He promised to mislead humanity, to whisper, to beautify sin, to approach from every direction, front, back, left, right. Understand this clearly. The enemy does not disappear. He adapts. His method is not always dramatic possession or horror scenes. Sometimes it is a thought, a suggestion, a justification. Knowledge is your first shield. When you understand who the jinn are and who they are not, you stop fearing shadows and start strengthening your heart. Now tell me honestly, did you know that not all jinn are evil? If this clarified something for you, comment, knowledge is power. Because the moment you understand the battlefield, you stop fighting blindly. The hadith about Ramadan. There is a powerful narration from Prophet Muhammad that many Muslims know. When Ramadan begins, the gates of paradise are opened The gates of hell are closed and the devils are chained. Think about that. The devils chained. So let's pause. If the devils are chained, why do people still lie during Ramadan? Why do marriages still explode in arguments? Why do addictions continue in the dark of night? Why does anger still burn in the chest of someone who hasn't eaten all day? Scholars have explained this carefully. Some say the major devils are restrained, not every whispering influence removed completely. Others explain that their power is reduced, not erased. But there is something even more confronting. Your nafs, your ego, your inner self, is not chained. Your habits are not chained. Your unresolved wounds are not chained. Your desires are not chained. And this is where the discomfort begins. Because it means something very serious. People still sin. The inner struggle remains. Ramadan does not delete your weaknesses. It exposes them. So ask yourself, and let this question shake you. If devils are chained, then who are you fighting? Is it really an external enemy? Or is it the part of you that refuses discipline? Type this in the comments, not for me, but for yourself. I will fight my nafs. Because the greatest battle in Ramadan may not be against a chained devil, but against an untrained self. Real modern stories. Let's step away from theory. Let's talk about what is actually happening right now, in homes, in masjids, in hearts. And remember, these are not confirmed supernatural attacks. These are human struggles. And sometimes that truth is harder to accept. Story 1. The Angry Fasting Man. There is a man who fasts every year in Ramadan. He prays, he goes to the mosque, he posts reminders online, but every afternoon he explodes. He shouts at his wife, he snaps at his children, he honks aggressively in traffic. And when someone advises him, he says, "It's Shaitan. Shaitan is attacking me." But is he? Or is it caffeine withdrawal after years of dependency? Is it sleep deprivation from staying awake until suhoor scrolling? Is it unresolved trauma from a childhood he never healed? Ramadan did not create his anger, it revealed it. The Qur'an teaches, indeed, Allah does not change the condition of a people until they change what is within themselves. 13:11. Self-accountability is uncomfortable, but it is liberating. Story 2. The Secret Addiction. A young Muslim man lowers his gaze all day. He fasts sincerely. He cries during dua, but at night, alone, he falls back into pornography, and in Ramadan, it feels worse. He says, "Why is my temptation stronger this month? Aren't the devils chained?" But maybe it's not stronger. Maybe his conscience is louder. Ramadan increases spiritual light, and when light increases, darkness becomes more visible. The teachings of Prophet Muhammad emphasize intentions, that actions are judged by what is in the heart. This is the real inner jihad, not dramatic possession, but private discipline. The guilt he feels is not proof of attack. It is proof that his heart is still alive. Story 3. Anxiety during Taraweeh. A woman stands in Taraweeh prayer. The recitation is beautiful. The masjid is full, but her chest tightens. Her heart races. She feels dizzy. She leaves early and whispers, "I think it's Jinn." But what if it's social anxiety? What if it's overstimulation after a long day without food? What if it's fear of judgment in a crowded space? Not every difficulty is possession. Sometimes it's unhealed wounds. Sometimes it's mental health. Sometimes it's exhaustion. And mislabeling everything as supernatural can delay real healing. Understand this deeply. Not every shadow is a jinn. Sometimes the battlefield is your own heart. Sometimes the struggle is psychological. Sometimes it is spiritual growth. Sometimes it is both.
But if we blame everything on Shaitan, we never take responsibility. And without responsibility, there is no transformation. So be honest with yourself. Have you ever blamed Shaitan for something that was actually your own struggle? Be honest. Growth begins where excuses end. Quranic real stories. If struggle automatically meant attack, then what do we do with the stories of the prophets? Were they attacked or were they elevated? Let's begin with Ayub. He lost his health, he lost his wealth, he lost his family. His body weakened, his community distanced itself from him. Years of suffering passed, and yet not once did he blame Shaitan for ruining his life. He did not scream accusations into the sky. He simply turned to Allah with humility and said that hardship had touched him. No drama, no victim mentality, just patience. His test was not proof of abandonment. It was proof of elevation. Now look at Yusuf. Young, isolated, betrayed by his own brothers, thrown into a well, sold into slavery. Then comes temptation, direct, aggressive, persistent. He could have justified it. He could have blamed loneliness. He could have said, "This is too hard." Instead, he chose moral strength in private. That is the real battlefield. Not horror scenes, but silent decisions when no one is watching. Then there is Musa. He felt fear. He fled. He stood in front of a tyrant. He experienced anxiety when facing confrontation. Yet Allah supported him, not by removing fear entirely, but by strengthening him through it. Do you see the pattern? The prophets experienced suffering. They experienced temptation. They experienced fear. But their struggles were not evidence of demonic attack. They were moments of growth. Ramadan magnifies inner tests. Hunger strips distractions. Silence amplifies thoughts. Night prayers expose sincerity. And when light increases, cracks become visible. The closer you get to light, the clearer the dust becomes. Your test is not proof of attack. It is proof of growth. So when anger surfaces, when temptation resurfaces, when fear rises, ask yourself, is this an enemy destroying me, or a weakness being revealed so I can finally heal it? Which prophet's story speaks to you most right now? Is it the patience of Ayub, the restraint of Yusuf, or the courage of Musa? Comment below. Because sometimes recognizing your reflection in their story is the first step toward transformation. What really attacks during Ramadan? Let's reframe the question. Maybe nothing is attacking you. Maybe something is being uncovered. Because when food is removed, distractions shrink. And what remains is you, your nafs, your inner self, the part of you that wants comfort, validation, control, pleasure. The nafs is not chained in Ramadan. Your habit loops are not chained. Your unresolved trauma is not chained. Your ego is not chained. And when hunger lowers your physical defenses, these things rise. Look at modern reality. Doom scrolling at suhoor instead of making dua. TikTok before Fajr instead of Dhikr. Arguing in comment sections while fasting. Convincing yourself you're defending truth. Exhaustion from binge watching shows all night. And then blaming irritability on Shaitan the next day. Is that a jinn attack? Or digital overstimulation? Is that possession? Or dependency? Ramadan removes your usual coping mechanisms. No food, less caffeine, less distraction. And suddenly, you realize how much you rely on them. Ramadan exposes dependency. It reveals how uncomfortable you are sitting alone with your thoughts. It shows you what you run to when you feel empty. It highlights what controls you. And that can feel like an attack. But maybe it's an awakening.
Ramadan is not exposing demons. It is exposing you. This mouth is a mirror. And not everyone likes what they see in the mirror. But here is the mercy in that. You cannot fix what you refuse to see. So ask yourself honestly, what weakness has Ramadan exposed in you? Is it anger, attention addiction, laziness in prayer, fear of being alone? Comment it, not to shame yourself, but to confront it. Because the moment you name the weakness, you begin to take back control. Protection strategy. Now that we've stripped away illusion, let's talk protection. Not dramatic protection, real protection. Because spiritual strength is not built through fear. It is built through discipline. First, fix your sleep. You cannot fight your Nafs on 3 hours of rest. You cannot control anger when your nervous system is exhausted. Sleep before midnight. Limit late night scrolling. Protect suhoor with intention, not distraction. Second, reduce digital chaos. If your last sight before Fajr is TikTok, and your last emotion before Iftar is online argument, don't blame Shaitan for the storm in your chest. Control your inputs. Ramadan is not just fasting from food, it is fasting from noise. Third, Dhikr consistently, not emotionally, not occasionally, consistently. Say, A'udhu billahi min ash-shaytan ir-rajim with presence. Seek refuge deliberately. Recite from the Qur'an daily, even if it is one page with reflection. Protection is not superstition, it is repetition with sincerity. Fourth, therapy if needed. If you have trauma, anxiety, addiction patterns, seeking professional help is not weak faith, it is responsible faith. Not every struggle is solved by louder recitation. Sometimes healing requires conversation, guidance, structure. Fifth, honest self-audit. At the end of each day, ask, where did I lose control? What triggered me? What pattern repeated? Write it down. Ramadan is your annual spiritual audit. Do not waste it blaming invisible enemies. Do not be dramatic. Be disciplined. Spiritual strength is built, not imagined. It is built in small decisions, in turning off the phone, in lowering the gaze, in choosing silence over argument, in choosing repentance over excuses. If you are serious about growth this Ramadan, comment. Discipline over drama. Because protection does not begin with fear. It begins with responsibility. Powerful, uitro, take a deep breath. After everything we've uncovered, after the stories, after the reflections, after the mirror has been held up in front of you, consider this. Maybe no jinn is attacking you. Maybe Allah is elevating you. Maybe this discomfort is purification. Maybe the war you feel inside your chest when you fast, when you resist, when you struggle, is not the sound of demons circling you. Maybe it is the sound of your soul waking up. Ramadan is not meant to be comfortable. It is meant to refine. Fire is uncomfortable to gold, but it removes impurity. Hunger is uncomfortable to the body, but it disciplines desire. Silence is uncomfortable to the ego, but it exposes truth. So be vigilant, not of shadows in the dark, but of the choices you make in the light. Be vigilant of your reactions, your habits, your excuses, your intentions, because that is where the real battle is. Ramadan is not a horror story. It is a transformation story. And transformation is never painless. If this video awakened something in you, share it with someone who needs clarity over fear. Comment right now, I choose transformation. And subscribe if you want truth over soup.